Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Career Connection Chat, where you state the career and we make the connection. As always, I'm your host, Seth Lawrence, Delaware Military Academy, class of 2022. Love saying that. And welcome to Season 3. We made it. Season 3. Government Officials. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3. Here today, we're going to talk about what it's like to run a state. With us today is Lieutenant Governor Bethany of the state of Delaware. And she's going to talk to us a little bit more about who she is and what it's like to be in charge of the state of Delaware in the state senate. But why have me tell you about her when she can tell you herself and one of her recent projects she has going on?
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall-Long. I'm also a nurse and a mom, so I really relate to the concerns that we're experiencing now with infant formula shortages. I know there's been a lot of questions over the last few weeks in particular, so today I'm thrilled to be joined with an incredible pediatrician, Dr. Priscilla Mampasi, to help answer some of those questions that you might have and to kind of walk you through what's been happening here in Delaware. We have combined with our Governor Carney, myself, and others in coordination with our White House and congressional delegates to ensure that we are receiving an adequate supply of formula on our shelves here in our community. Many federal government agencies are working in coordination with the state. The good news is the White House also has launched Operation Fly Formula, which brought baby formula from Switzerland to the U.S. on Sunday with enough formula to fill 500,000 bottles. It's really important that you know that all the infant formula that comes to us to the United States meets all the safety requirements of our Food and Drug Administration. Additionally, it's really important that here in Delaware, we have been coordinating with the Food Industry Council, which are places like pharmacies, grocery stores, convenience stores, along with the food bank and Donate Delaware, to identify those areas in the state that have the highest need so we can redirect formula to the shelves in those areas that need them. Our goal is to really make sure that the channels are not complicated for you. So what does that really mean? It means that wherever you normally get your baby formula is where you really should try to go first and continue to see the shipments arrive. Check in, go locally with similar or smaller stores perhaps in the meantime as well. And it's really important as a nurse that you do not dilute formula, and please do not make over purchases, particularly with your family. If you know you have a little one who's just been born, they probably don't need 6 cans of dry formula. So if you can absolutely continue to work with us, we'll ensure to keep you informed. So feel free to contact your pediatrician should you have additional questions, you couldn't find the formula, or call 211. I really hope this information has been helpful. Our approach has been and continues to be to work closely with our federal delegation and the White House to make sure that you get the supply of baby formula that you need. And in the state of Delaware, if you receive WIC, SNAP, or TANF benefits, they can really assist you also in purchasing baby formula and find supplies through great partners such as the Food Bank of Delaware, where you can go and also make those purchases. You can also again call 211 or visit dethrives.com for additional information to help navigate the formula shortage. On behalf of Governor Carney, myself, and our incredible many partners across the state, I want to thank you. And again, please dial 211 with questions.
So with me today is Lieutenant Governor Bethany of the state of Delaware. Ma'am, how are you?
I am great. Thank you, Seth, for having me. I'm so delighted to join you, and I feel like a celebrity being selected today.
No, we're happy to have you on the show, we really are. So could you explain briefly who you are and how you got to where you are now?
Sure. Lieutenant Governor of the state of Delaware, which is kind of like the second in command behind our Governor Carney. Prior to that, in my elected hat, I had served 6 years in the Delaware State House of Representatives. And then after that, I did 9 years in the Delaware Senate. And the most important roles that I have played are that of a mother, and also I'm a professor, full professor at the University of Delaware. 2 disciplines, nursing, urban affairs, and public policy. And so I work with undergrads, masters, and PhD students, and have really enjoyed my time in public service, mostly as a public health nurse.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, you basically have a lifetime of career in services. That's amazing. Now, what characteristics make a good person in your career path?
Well, I think for anyone who is a public servant, you have to be willing to sacrifice time with your family. I missed a lot of soccer games, a lot of basketball, baseball, and time away from my family. But the reward of helping others from a systems, statewide policy level, there are no words. And characteristics, I think of, the nurse first. Nurses are the most popular Gallup poll career path that you can take. Because what are we? We're caring, we're trustworthy, we have integrity, and we have a science-based intellect and knowledge. Ironically, some folks, particularly today, don't necessarily see those in elected office in the same light. So I'm kind of a dichotomy, kind of a twofold. You're a nurse, but an elected official. And perhaps we'll talk a little bit about how that came to be at some point. But I think the characteristics of integrity, honesty, hard work, intellect are really the properties one needs in public service.
Absolutely. I can say that myself. Now, what are some of your favorite things to do in this career?
For me, it started as a journey. I was late to class in my master's program, and for the students listening in, you have to kind of see the glasses half full. I got assigned this crazy topic of nurses in politics, when all I wanted to do in that program in South Carolina, with my husband, United States Navy, we wanted to work with homeless mentally ill veterans. And I thought, oh no, I've got a whole year of this assignment. And what I found, if you're not at the table of policy making, you're on the menu. And I found in order to help those marginalized communities, whether Black and brown communities, persons with mental health, veterans, I had to be present. And I ran for office when I relocated from South Carolina to Virginia, did some fellowships in the United States Senate with Senators Cochran, Dole, and Kennedy, finished my PhD there, and perhaps we'll talk a little bit about how mentors and some people who've helped me really helped influence to shape me to consider to run for public office. And so it's been a journey, but again, what really kind of brought me to the path was kind of serendipity, that I was late. I got assigned this topic. I was given a book about nurses in politics, and what's crazy? I'm now contributing author to that book.
Wow.
So, see things full circle. For the students listening in, life may throw you lemons, you just have to make lemonade.
Now, I have to ask, what are some of your least favorite things to do?
I think sometimes making policy decisions where there's a divide. There's a lot of divides in America. The nice thing about Delaware, we're a neighborly state. We know each other from Claymont to Sevierville. And so sometimes you have to make tough choices with the budget. Right now we have funds, but it's difficult. There's inflation, families are suffering, people are struggling with college loans, issues getting cars and gas and all. Budgets are the tough part often on where to put your funds and your money. And so we have to really make sure that we're absolutely addressing issues that people care about. The other thing that we also run into is that sometimes we run into the issue of social policies. I was raised in a very faith-based, religious Sussex County household where occasionally I, would take stands that may be a little different than my family because of my rights and beliefs in equity and civil rights and human rights. And so those are the tough things.
Now, what's your next biggest project for the state of Delaware?
I have some big projects in mind that really we put in buckets. So if you picture different buckets, right? As the Lieutenant Governor, I preside over the Senate, I chair the Board of Pardons, and I'm really proud of the fact that we got rid of the wait for anyone being considered for a second chance, a commutation hearing. We've eliminated those. But besides that, the policy areas that I built on in the House and the Senate with healthcare, really fighting to make sure everybody had healthcare. Coming through the pandemic, I personally, in 21, worked 363 days, and I vaccinated over 4,000 people myself as a nurse. And what I wanted to do is make sure we have the structures in place that all people have access to service and care. Communities of Black and brown do not have the same equity issues. So equity is huge across the board. Environment and climate and justice are real important. I was just at a rally where we were talking about electric vehicles, sustainability, the future with climate and precipitation, temperature, rain, all of those things, gases, ozone, really important. Economics are important too. You gotta have good jobs. You all at school are thinking about future careers. Some will go to college, some of you will go to military academies, some of you will hopefully have your own businesses. So we gotta make sure we have a solid economy that works for all people, no matter the zip code. Big priority. Chairing the Million Women Mentors nationally, which is a STEM-based organization for women, science, technology, engineering, math. Important priority, along with chairing the National Lieutenant Governors Association. So working across all 50 states, taking best models. So in environment, in equity, in also the economy, because we had to have a healthy community, to have a healthy economy, and capping it out with where you are. Congrats, you're going to Morehouse. I already know that. HBCU, education. A real priority for me is birth to 5. Right now we put a lot of energy kindergarten to 12. One of the things is Lieutenant Governor, and as I look forward to 2024, I'm really going to be focusing on issues of birth to K as well.
That's amazing.
So a lot of stuff. I have a lot of good stuff, but we're doing it in tandem with community organizations, doing it in communities of color, working with members of the General Assembly, working with the Governor's Office, and our 57 municipalities across the state, making sure that we're spending the federal ARPA dollars and CARES Act funds correctly so that we're investing wisely for your future.
That's amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how it goes. Now, this program is all about mentoring and connecting people with potential mentors. Now, who was your mentor? What was one of the best lessons they taught you?
Okay. Well, it's good to have mentors, and your mentor should change depending on who you're with, right? If you're in middle school, high school, college, some of your mentors may change. Sometimes you have to take risks. Back in the day, I want to date myself, there was not social media. Can you imagine? There wasn't the internet, there wasn't the web. You couldn't text somebody, you couldn't instant or Instagram, you didn't have any of that. So I had to pick up the phone. And I encourage those who are listening to me to not be shy. If there's a person you would like to learn from, try to reach out, ask them. You would be shocked. I got to work with the United States Secretary of Health. I had opportunities. I didn't come from a lot. I'm the first person in my family from Sussex County to go to college. My grandmother quit school in the 8th grade to help her 8 siblings that were younger than her, and she worked behind a mule. She, at a young age, impressed me that I had to have an education. So before I was 30, I had my PhD, thanks to her. And so sometimes mentors can be a family member, like my grandmom in the beginning. But that shifted to other teachers that I had and other persons. A real mentor that I think is relevant to you listening at the Delaware Military Academy and School was my doctoral program. I was so honored. I actually got to be mentored, who convinced me to go into public policy, America's first African-American female general.
Yes.
Her name was Dr. Hazel Johnson Brown. She mentored me. I got to go to her home. I got to be like her little daughter, so to say. And she really did teach me to be at the table, to not say you're sorry, but to take action and to walk that talk. I also had strong educators like Dr. Malloy in Charleston, South Carolina, who really taught me that all people bleed red and that all people matter. And that to whom much is given, much is expected. And that was a theme of my father, who was a pastor. We were raised in the faith. And today, my office builds on those lessons. In my team, Edwin and others, we monthly meet with faith leaders. We monthly meet with Black leaders. We monthly meet with Latino leaders. And so those mentor lessons, we have to pass those on. So as you become a mentor down the road, it's about moving the next generation forward. And so mentors should change. Mentors should always be available. And we should take the best lessons. And we should learn from the failure. Sometimes failure is the better lesson.
Absolutely. Now, is there anything else you would like to say to our viewers watching who are interested in government or politics?
I think government and public service is critical. You see all these things on TV and social media, and we've seen all these issues with January 6th and infighting. Those of you who are at DMMA understand the importance of our government, the importance of democracy, and how it is a republic where we vote for and have persons who represent us. We are the strongest nation in America. in America, in the world. We are the strongest nation in the world. And we have to keep it that way. And how we're going to do that are inspiring folks such as yourselves. So I don't care if you've got a R, a D, and I after your name. You need to be involved. You need to vote. You need to register. Voting rights matter. Opportunity matters. Things will not happen for your future if you sit on the sidelines. Not everybody's going to run for government, but perhaps you'll serve. Join the military. Perhaps you'll serve in our National Institutes of Health. You might be the next cancer researcher or the next engineer that creates the infrastructure that's necessary not only to put people on the moon, but to design the best military craft that we have, or to design the health systems that matter. You know, when I started in the House, people did not support telehealth. Can you imagine during COVID if you couldn't have had your phone or your computer to visit with doctors? So it matters. So again, all of those lessons are important.
Amazing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lieutenant Governor Hall. Stay tuned. Next episode, we have Congresswoman Lisa Brown Rochester and Attorney General Kathy Jennings. Stay tuned. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for taking time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. The best to you and everyone at DMA.
Again, thanks for watching Career Connection Chats. I hope you learned something great. I hope you learned something you want to teach other people. And if you want to be on our show, please email us at careerconnectionchats@gmail.com. And if you want to ask our guest speaker your own questions, please email at the email posted below. To see more, please visit our YouTube channel and share what you've learned.